Yo, I wasn't sure if I was actually live or not. Okay. I'm still getting used to going live with this setup. So you gotta pardon me for a moment. Let me get my audio levels right. How's the audio? Check 1 2, check 1 2. Good there. My chat isn't connected for some reason. It's weird. Alright, fuck it. I'm about to pull up the chat on the motherfucking YouTube. Alright, cool. Alright, well, good morning, good afternoon. A little bit late for the usual morning daily dab. Just getting ready to take 1 or 2 dabs, and then I wanted to get into the grow room and knock out some work. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today specifically is your irrigation and your water. And I'm going to show you guys some data to go along with what I'm telling you, and hopefully it'll click and like we could all progress. So you guys know how important it is to have good clean irrigation water. A lot of people use hypochlorous acid, bleach, various different compounds, H2O2. A lot of people don't fully understand why they're using it, when to use it, how much to use, and how to know if it was effective. And I think that when you can start having quantifiable numbers and data behind these things, that's when you can start really taking control of your irrigation and your source water. So before we get too deep into that shit, let me clean a banger and we're gonna rip a fatty. And it's more than just cleaning filters, you know, there's a lot more to it. Especially once things start to go bad, it's like a lot more than just cleaning filters. You need to do a lot of stuff, which is kind of almost where I'm at right now. A lot of people will do like irrigation resets in between grows. I typically do. And, you know, there's a good reason behind it. It's really, really hard to properly clean physically stuck on debris from water lines because of the way that water flow works. If once something gets stuck in a crevice, it's kind of just stuck there. A lot of times water flow alone isn't going to break it up. You need a caustic cleaner like PBW or H2O2 or something that's going to break it down. All right. Let me get the other banger ready too so we can go back to back. So before I guess I get too deep into it, there's a few terms that we should all be on the same page about. All right, and I'm just gonna go over all of them so that everybody's on the same page, okay? pH is obviously pH, potential of hydrogen, right? So we have pH, we have EC, electrical conductivity, which is similar to ppm and TDS, but slightly different. Then we have ORP, which is your oxygen redox potential. It's essentially the sanitization power of the water. Its ability to hold high levels of oxygen. Then you have DO, or dissolved oxygen, which is the actual amount of oxygen suspended in the water, which is why I use a nano bubble infuser, which is not currently running right now. I turned it off for a while, and I'll show you why. pH, and then there's temperature, okay? The things that we're concerned with in terms of cleanliness are going to be ORP and dissolved oxygen, okay? And then the last one is going to be pH, because it's a indicator of the other two, right? Oxygen levels, temperature, anaerobic activity, all of these things are greatly going to affect pH, which we'll cover more in depth in a few minutes. I'm also going to talk a little bit about some of this stuff on some upcoming videos that I'm making. I'm recording them right now and trying to start editing them next week. But I'm not going to go super in depth. I'm going to keep all the super in-depth live or information on the lives. So the people that come and hang out are going to get blessed with the golden nuggets, or the people that watch it afterwards. It's hard to go really in depth on those long form videos without boring people. Got the golden pineapple today. It's delicious. What are you guys smoking on today? Ooh, sherbet cream pie sounds good. Super buff cherry. Blueberry lemonade sounds pretty fire too. It's hot over there. It finally started cooling off over here. This apple fritter nucleates quick. What temp we going in on this one? I'm thinking like a 570 maybe. We're at 630 right now. $615, 600, 590, 580. Whew. That was a good rip. I could have let that cool off a little bit more, to be honest, though. Yeah, that was a little hot. And that fucking black barbell holds so much heat. Even when I dump it in after torching, it picks up a lot of heat and holds onto it, which is a good thing. But man, I think I'm gonna start letting the slurper cool off and then dropping it in right before I dab, just so I can be way more consistent on my temperatures and shit, you know? Woo! All right, let's do this talk, and then we're gonna get in there to do work, because I also just remembered I wanted to swap out 1 light's worth of oil tanker clones with the banana mac clones that I have that just finished rooting. Those oil tankers have only been in there 2 days. They can afford to come out and get swapped out. I want to run a light of that banana mac and see what it does. Gotta find out. You gotta find out. Fuck me. That was a rip. Oof. All right, so let's get it. We're talking about water today, wheezing. Excuse me, guys. Let me get some Turp towels. Hold on. Clear my caves. Ooh, yeah, y'all getting the full experience of the nose blows with this new mic. All right. Okay. I'll just set up my screen for the chat. Fuck. I don't mean to keep coughing in your ear. I'm sorry. All right. So let me get my screen going too. Let me share it. All right. So you should see my screen now, right? And okay. So as you're looking at this screen, this is my batch tank. Okay, my dissolved oxygen sensor needs a replacement head, or I just got to put a new sensor in there. So don't pay attention to my dissolved oxygen, but my ORP, temp, EC, pH, all Gucci. Okay. The pH is actually a little high. It's reading a little high. I need to calibrate it. But anyways, that's besides the point. What I wanted to teach you about is right here. So we're gonna look at this graph. This is the last 24 hours of my batch tank. Gray is temperature, red is pH, green is EC, blue is ORP, and yellow is dissolved oxygen. So typically you want your ORP to be somewhere around 350 to 450 millivolts. Okay, and that's going to be like clean water, fresh water. Okay, a bottle of water, maybe even tap water, is going to be somewhere around there. Okay. Now, when you get up to like a pool or a hot tub, you're going to be like somewhere around 5 to 700. Okay, anything over 750 millivolts considered really, really, really strong and will sanitize. Okay, and when we talk about sanitize, you have to understand, what are we trying to sanitize? And we're not trying to sanitize the root zone, contrary to popular belief. What we're trying to do is we're trying to sanitize the water. We don't know what's in the water. There could be pathogens, there could be a bacterial presence in the water, and you don't want to pass that disease, pathogen, whatever, onto your crop via irrigation or watering. And so what you like to do is you want to sterilize the water first. You want to make sure that there's nothing in it that is going to be harmful to your plants after you mix in your nutrients and you feed it to them. So you want, typically, depending on the quality of your source water, you want to aim, like I said, for 350 to 450 ORP, right? And that's at the end of adding your nutrients and everything and getting ready to feed it to the plants. It's on the safe side to have your source water, like if you have a large RO storage tank or filtered water storage tank, if you can treat that source water to 700 to 800 millivolts on your ORP, right, it'll remain very, very clean, and it'll keep all of the bad bacteria away and prevent it from going anaerobic. When water goes anaerobic, that's because there's bad bacteria in there that are consuming the oxygen inside of the water. And so you lose dissolved oxygen, you lose its sanitization power in the ORP, and the DO go down. If you can keep that water clean, right, make sure it's properly filtered. This is where replacing your RO filters or your, tall boy filters comes in play, right? You have to keep your sediment filters and your carbon filters up to date. Replace your membranes, once a year or every 6 months, depending on your source water, things like that. And then I personally like to run my source water, my storage water, through a UV filter. And it's a big whole house one. It's a huge, tall one. I have to go put a new bulb in it today. And basically, if you run it through that, it'll kill off any bacteria or bad shit in there and make it 100 times easier for you to maintain a higher dissolved oxygen in ORP, because there's nothing living in the water bringing it down, right? So just you recirculating it after a few days is going to start upping the dissolved oxygen a lot faster, because there's nothing else left in there. So as you're recirculating it, not only are you adding dissolved oxygen via the recirculation, right, and breaking the water surface, but you're keeping it high because there's nothing to drag it down, if that makes sense, other than it just going stagnant. You can also treat it with a little bit of bleach, right? If you put bleach on a doser on your storage water tank and keep your storage water tank on a float, it always stays full, and then you recirculate it every hour or 2 or 3, whatever you need to do, and as needed, it can dose bleach to up your ORP, right? You can have it dose whatever you want, hypochlorous acid, but bleach works just as well, disinfecting Clorox bleach. Usually around 0.2 to 0.3 mLs per gallon is all that's needed to achieve that effect. If you can smell the bleach in the water, it's a touch too strong. You want to be able to be like, I think there's a little bit of bleach in this water, or it smells a tiny bit like chlorine, but like those of you that have had a pool or go swimming often, it's like the day before the pool man's supposed to come. So it's low on chlorine. Like it's barely there, but it's clean. You know what I'm saying? And nothing is able to survive in it. There's no bugs living in it because of chlorine. So that's kind of where you want it to be. If you don't have an ORP meter to test it, get a 5-gallon bucket of water. Okay? Smell it. I know that sounds fucking weird, but listen to me. Smell it. You would be surprised if you slow the fuck down and pay attention to your senses, what you can pick up on. And if you do that, take it into another room where it doesn't smell already musty and dank from being in a grow room. Take it into your house where it's clean, crisp air, assuming your house is clean. Smell that water. Just smell it from the surface, then put your hand in it and smell your hand. Like, would you wash your face with it? Would you potentially drink it? Is it that clean? If it's not, then potentially you should fix that, right? More often than not, people have biofilm because they think if, oh, I just add this chemical, it's going to break down this biofilm. I don't ever have to clean it. And that's not true. A lot of times, biofilm is very resistant to cleaning chemicals, and only the top surface level will get broken down, and you'll never truly clean the biofilm off and reach the surface. So a lot of times you either need to pressure wash or you have to scrub. People aren't doing that. So, scrub your shit, keep it really clean, use some type of caustic cleaner to clean your water from the starting point. So like today I'm going to go in there, empty my 100-gallon reservoir, okay? I'm going to scrub it out. There's barely anything in it. But I had that coil in there for chilling, and that did grow some stuff on it. So just like a little bit of slime. So I pulled all the coil and everything else out of there. I'm gonna pull my sensors out, and we're gonna scrub everything down inside there. I use a car wash brush. That's my simple trick. Cheap car wash brush because they're soft, fluffy, they're non-abrasive. You don't want to use an abrasive brush when you're cleaning plastic because it creates micro abrasions where bacteria can be harbored and stored and not well cleaned. So always use a soft bristled brush or just high pressure water and clean it very good. Touch every surface and then use, like I said, a caustic cleaner. You can even use something like Simple Green, hydrogen peroxide, PBW. A lot of different things can be used. And then after you do the physical cleaning of it, you need to do, Green Clean Acid Cleaner is another one you can use. I like that one. After that, you need to do a big thorough rinse, and then you need to let it sit with a sanitization agent. You can use something like Star San, Sanidate. Xeritol will work to an extent, but Sanidate, if you're going to use Xeritol, you might as well use Sanidate because that's what it's for. It's stronger than Xeritol. But Star San is always a good one. It's a food grade sanitizer that doesn't even need to be rinsed after use. You just drain it and then it's good to go, straight to consumption. Obviously, we still want to rinse it, but that's a good one. And I think I do have some. It's in there. It's in the garage. So, anyways, back to the data here. I don't even think you saw me while I was rambling, but let's go back even further. So let's go back 14 days. That's too far, apparently. I don't have data going back that far. 10. Gucci. All right, so check this out. This is where we kind of started at. This was where I was running my nano bubble mixer, and you can see it was boosting the dissolved, or the ORP, right, every time it ran. And eventually it would, start to bottom out, right? But as I was running that, it was causing my pH to go up and down and up and down, because as it would run, the pH goes up, but then as it stops running, the pH goes back down. And so I was getting these wild swings, right? And I don't like that at all. It's not good for the nutrient mixture. It's not good for the plants. And so I got rid of that whole chiller setup, turned off my nano bubble setup, and this is about when I did it. And ever since then, you can see we've been pretty flatline on everything. Temperature bottomed out, and it's been actually lower because my chiller wasn't working anyways. The pH has been pretty stable at like 6.5. The EC has been fucking flatlined, 1.9 or 2-ish. And then my ORP just fluctuates slightly as it mixes new nutrients or gets agitated, but it's just a slight fluctuation. And that's because I haven't sanitized the start water. So once I get the start water super sanitized and start putting the nano bubble and the UV through it, this will automatically be higher in the nutrients. It'll be around 400 to 500. All right, and 400 to 500 ORP is enough for the nutrients to be clean, but it's not going to kill off the bacterial presence in the root zone that I established with my weekly hand waterings of OG Biovore, Root Pack, Foliar Pack, the Regalia Grandivo and or Venerate, and my biostimulants. The 400 to 500 ORP is not going to hurt those beneficials at all. It won't kill pests, but we're going to be starting, like I said, around 600-700. I'll have all of this monitoring on the source water too in a couple of days. I just have to turn it back on, and then we'll be able to monitor my filtered water storage. It's 100 gallons, and we'll be able to know the pH, the EC, or all of that shit, and then I'll circulate that through UV and nano bubble accordingly to keep everything like super high, so that when it does go through the dosatron and make a batch tank, the batch tank will last for however long it needs to at the parameters I want it to be at, which would ideally be around 15 ppm, or not 15 ppm. I want to say, what is it? Milligrams per liter on dissolved oxygen, right? Around 10 to 15 would be ideal, and then for ORP, around 400 to 500 would be ideal. And then with the pH and EC being stable. And then obviously I'm going to turn that room into an irrigation only room, so that way I don't have any more plants in there, and I can drop my temperature, and the temperature should be chilling around 68 to 70 after I do that. So that will also help the dissolved oxygen and the ORP remain higher, because that high temperature does eat up the oxygen in the water and cause the pH to drift. So I know that was kind of like a lot. I don't know if that was too much. Coughing isn't loud at all. That's good to know. Smell more than water, but not chemi. Yep, exactly. Yeah, so that's water management in a nutshell. If you ask me, you could always go more in depth, but I think a lot of people kind of just started using a lot of these hypochlorous acid products without fully understanding the who, what, where, when, why of it. And they spend a lot of money because that shit isn't cheap. They charge a lot of money for it, and it's basically water that's been electrically charged and stabilized and sanitized, and that's it. And you can make it yourself. They have machines for it, but you can also just use bleach. Like, I shit you not, you can also just use bleach. So, any questions on that, or any questions about irrigation, nutrients in general? I think I'm going to end up grabbing a small DC powered circulation pump to keep in my batch tank that's going to run all the time. And I'll set my float valve to just above that pump level. And that way, oh damn, that wind is busting. At all times, the batch tank is going to be recirculated, but at a very, very low speed. I don't necessarily need that in my stock tanks. I'm pretty good on those. But in the batch tank, that'll help make sure that the sensors are always getting super accurate and consistent readings. There's not going to be any stagnant spots in there, anything like that. And it being a DC powered pump, it shouldn't add much, if any, heat, especially if I'm keeping the room at 70. Night irrigations, what's your question about them? You got to be a little bit more specific on the question, and I would love to dig into that. That's what we're missing. Music. Jeez Louise. My video is blocked in some territories. The Daily Dab, today's video is blocked in some territories already. It's not even over yet. All right, that's cool. Don't know what I was listening to that caused that, but alrighty then. General info. All right, I mean, let me put it to you like this. I'll give you a question to your question to get you thinking, and then I'll dive more in depth so that you don't think I'm just being a smart ass. You said night irrigations, question mark. All right, so my response is, does it ever rain at night? Question mark. Like, do the plants die because of it? No. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? The issue is, typically when people are forced into a situation where they feel like they need to do night irrigations, it's because it's so far dried back already that they're going into emergency mode. And in their head, their immediate thought is, fully saturate that shit all the way back up, like flush it, right? And in reality, that actually does more harm than slowly building it back up with small shots and also not getting it back up to full saturation. One of the worst things that you can do at night is give it a full saturation feeding, because what happens when you give it too much water at night and you get back up to full saturation or close to it, or even giving it till runoff, it throws off that overnight dry back. That overnight dry back is what dictates the growth the following day. So it's going into the following day already full belly. It's not like, oh, let me get up and get moving and get out of the house because I got to go get breakfast so I can get my day pumping. It's more like, oh, I got a full belly. I got to stop and take a shit first. Man, I got an aftershock. Let me go back to the bathroom. Oh, okay, now I'm ready to get my day going. But it's like already halfway through the day before it's ready to start drinking like normal again. And that's if you stop all the irrigations on it for that day, right? You have to stop all your normal irrigations, because if you start your normal irrigations back up first thing in the morning, now you're overwatering it for that entire day, and it's a domino effect. So it's not that night irrigations are bad, but you do have to understand what the fuck you're doing and pay attention and be strategic. And so if you do see that you're drying back too far, hopefully you catch it sooner than later, you give it a small to medium shot. So if a small shot for you is like 3%, a medium shot is 6%, and a large shot is 12%, you're gonna give it like 3 to 4, maybe 5%. And depending on how long you have until the morning time when the lights come on again. If it's like only a few more hours, give it that 3% shot. Just get it out of the danger zone. That's all that you're doing. The night shots are not to get it flushed. It's not to fix the EC. The night shot is strictly to get it out of danger zone, which means a couple of small shots at most, right? Once it's out of danger zone and it's back into an area of water potential where it's going to make it until the morning and not hit its wilt point, that's what you want to do. And that's going to keep it thirsty and hungry and thriving and not overwatered. So that way by morning time, you can continue into your normal irrigation cycle because everything is like on the cusp of being too dry. It's ready to be fed. It wants it. It's hungry. And as soon as you give it to it, it's going to start going nuts again versus being overwatered the entire day and groggy and sleepy, if that makes sense. Humidity and root funkiness can be affected as well, yep. Yep, exactly. So when you oversaturate the medium, what happens is, depending on the bulk density of the medium, which is how fast it drains, how compact it is, what it's made of, etc., right? It will hold so much moisture that it could potentially starve the roots of oxygen. The only time that those roots are getting oxygen is as the roots are consuming that moisture, it's pulling oxygen in. Well, if you oversaturate your plants and overwater them and they're not drying back that whole day because they're overwatered, guess what's happening in the medium? It's not drying back. If it's not drying back, nothing is leaving it, nothing new can go into it. So it doesn't pull new oxygen into the root zone, and that's when you really start having issues and seeing the plants look like shit. So, like I said, the key with that is just don't overwater. Night irrigations are perfectly fine. It really doesn't slow them down much at all. And if you get to a point where you do have to do night irrigations, if you've been paying attention to your plants, you hopefully catch it early where it's like, okay, they just dried back a couple hours too fast today. And you made it on time to be able to correct the issue, with just a small shot. And then you adjust your schedule and then you're good to go. And now hey, the plants are ramping up their shit into high gear. That's what I use that as an indication of. Oh, shit. I came in this morning and the plants looked a little dried back. The numbers are looking a little low. Motherfucker said it's go time. Add another irrigation. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you stack up to 8 EC without pH dropping like crazy? All right. Flushing run. What are you feeding? And typically that's what you do see. I mean, the trick to stacking EC starts with knowing what you're stacking and having a balanced nutrient composition to start with. The first things that are going to start stacking in the medium is going to be calcium and nitrogen. And the plants like to focus on nitrates, and unfortunately your nitrogen and your nitrates are going to be heavy, especially in veg. And when you start stacking those things, it's going to affect pH. And the only thing that you can do to correct that is to feed more frequently, so that way your pH doesn't get out of range, right? pH is going to be controlled via a couple different things. It's going to be controlled via an equal uptake of minerals, or not necessarily equal, but a proper ratio of minerals being taken up by the plant is going to keep the pH where it's supposed to be. Frequently feeding and pulling in fresh oxygen into the medium and flushing away the buildup of salts that can cause a pH drift as well. Is going to keep your pH consistent. So, you know, you can also try, instead of having a big 10-hour dry back, have 2 shorter 5-hour dry backs, because what's going to happen is you're still going to get this much EC stack, but you're going to get this much pH drift, and then you're going to correct that. And then you're just feeding enough to correct the pH, but the EC is barely going to drop a little. And then you're going to keep stacking that EC again, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to feed just enough to keep the pH good, keep the plant happy, and then you're going to, whoop, that's, you know, it's a game. It's like a tricky seesaw. It's not like a perfectly flat piece of wood that goes like this. It's tricky. That shit's like, whoop, and you got to figure out where on that tricky piece of shit can you keep your pH happy, right? And also get the EC stack. And so, like, I'll share my my screen again real quick, and I'll show you where I'm at. Is it this one? Yeah. All right, so I only have one of the sensors in right now, or two. So we're at 3.9 EC and 41%. I don't even know what full saturation is on this because I've been allowing these to dry back. These are the mother plants. And the flower room, this is the only one that's plugged in. This is over on the super booth side. We're at 23% and 3.3 EC. Typically for veg, I want all of my shit to be like 6 to 7 EC, pour water EC. And so I still need to stack this. And you can see I've been drying back for fucking like 2 days. Just trying to get my shit to stack. And it's just barely creeping up. And then I gave it a little shot this morning to correct the pH and to you know, get some fresh O2 in there, drop the temperature a little bit, you know, refresh the nutrients in there for the day a little bit. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not pushing runoff at all. You know, I can increase my PPFD in here, push these plants a little harder because this side is dug in. The other side of the room is not really rooted yet. But, you know, you got to find the balance. It's hard sometimes. Oh, you're a hand waterer? There's nothing wrong with hand watering, but you have to be strategic with it, bro. Like, look, if you have a simple scale that you can throw your plants on, just get an idea of how much they weighed at night before you left, and then when you come in the next day before you water, throw it on a scale, see how much it dried back in weight, right? And then you get an idea of percentage, and then you're like, hey, if I put this plant on here, just for math's sake, let's just say it weighs, I don't know, 10,000 grams, okay? Whatever that is in pounds, okay? 6, 7 pounds. Let's say you have 10,000 grams on that plant, medium and everything, and you come in the next morning and it's at fucking 6,000 grams. That's a pretty significant dry bag, right? You lost 40%. That's a good dry bag. And just don't pay attention to the numbers. Don't let the numbers dictate what to do. Just do what you know is right. Go with the hand feel. Go with your sight. You know what I'm saying? Understand where you're at with it, how the plant looks health-wise, and then correlate that to, okay, this is what the numbers were on that. I should probably try and aim for that shit and do that on all of these plants. And then see what the room starts to look like. If the room starts to look better, you're on the right track. And you know, hey, you know what, now let me adjust that a little bit. Do I dry back a little more? Do I dry back a little less? Like, then you start getting jiggy with shit and you start making some moves right there. Trust. It's so easy, and a lot of people get so like nervous and they feel like they can't do it or it's over their heads or whatever the case may be. But in reality, bro, it's just simple. It's simple. It's like If crop steering was your body, it's basically you saying, okay, I need to put a bigger demand on my body so that it can eat more, so that it can grow more. If you understand that little cycle, work harder, eat harder, grow better. It's all you're doing. And then you're just sticking your hand in that natural cycle and you're like, how can I make you eat harder? Oh, I could tease you and give you small little snacks instead of giving you big waterings. Cool, I'm gonna use that trick. Oh, on the environment, I can increase the VPD and make you have to transpire harder. Oh, and that lets me feed you more, and that means you're gonna grow more. Oh, and then I can give you more light because of that. And then that circle just starts going in a spiral. And then that's when you go from fucking to fucking having an orgy. That shit's exciting. Ooh, shivers me timber. It gets me plant horny. I need to take a dab. Ooh, goodness. That makes my pedioles hard. Banana bombs. Goddamn kids songs are on here. Bro, I'm saying, y'all don't understand, man. Fry for the night. I'm gonna show you guys a magic trick. It might not work out so well for me in the end, but we're gonna see. Did I leave one up here? Please tell me I have one. There it is. All right. If you take your dab that's like kind of drying up and getting crumbly a little bit, instead of trying to make it all stick back together on your dab tool, leave it a crumble like little mix. This is a big dab, by the way. This is over a half gram probably. So we're gonna take this and I'm gonna dump it on here. Instead of having it all compressed and it takes forever to melt, the moment this shit lands on here, it goes whoosh, and it just vanishes into the column and turns into vapor. Like, I can kill a dab 5 times faster when it's in this method than having it on the stick all compressed. It's weird, kind of. It makes sense, but somebody else had to explain it to me first because I was like, wait, what? All right, I had to reheat for extra flavor. Yeah, I know that's how that works. The more you reheat, the more flavorful the dab is. It stops after 3 times though. Fuck you, ice. All right, we're at 640, 620. Cheers. One inhale. Bro, that shit takes way longer to clear it when it's on the fucking stick. Tell me I'm lying. Let's go check out the room. Whew. Big dabs, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps. Mac V2s. Not bad. Okay, these are the excuse me, the banana macs that I'm going to put in the room right now. Some of these have pretty good roots. Some of them just have decent. Like that one's just decent. That one's decent. This one's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then this one's pretty good. So we'll get those going in the room right now. I need to go grab those yellow tags real quick. All right, and then we also got the new Mother's oil tanker, banana mac, Pido in the back over there, little leaf curl from the sulfur dunk, and then super boof. Okay, we got the oil tanker all planted in on drippers, and we're gonna pull out 1 light's worth, so 6 plants. And I think we'll maybe put it, I don't know if we want to put those new 6 here in the front or in the back. Probably just do it right here in the front. And then we got all the oil tanker, or the super boof rather, over here taken off. We're gonna up the PPFD on these as soon as we can get that EC to spike. So let's get some shit going in here. So these literally should not be rooted in that much at all. Yeah, these shouldn't be rooted in at all. We'll go ahead and, we literally just got these in maybe 24 hours ago, 48 hours ago, if that. So we're gonna swap these out with these. Cool. I'm glad I did this in time. I was hoping that I would be able to run some of these. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to or not. So I'll hand water some of these, the ones that we're putting in here. How's the audio now that we're in this room? Is there like a lot of feedback, a lot of noise? Yeah, buddy, we're gonna have some banana milk. I think from now on, that's how we have to say it. I gotta find a way to to spell that pronunciation. Let's get these drippers back in. Get these out of here. Don't need any of these. And then we got two more. Let me see if I have any that are better rooted than these two that I plan on moving over right now before I move them. I don't think the rest of them are ready yet. Ooh, I got one, actually. Two. Shit, I'm glad I checked. You never know which ones are gonna outperform. Sheesh. Alright, let's go with this one and this one. Yeah. Okay. And then the last two back here. And then we'll throw some labels on these. And I had already treated these with sulfur when I cloned them. All right, let's see how she does. We'll get some sensors in there so we can monitor her. And then I honestly don't need to keep any of these other clones. I have everything now as fresh moms, so I'm gonna get rid of this whole tray of clones. I don't care if they continue rooting or not. Okay, let me grab my plant tags. All right. Banana miak. Banana miak. Cool. I don't really need to put tags in the rest. I know what's in here. All right, this side needs to start showing. Once this side starts showing me signs of new growth, that it's starting to prey and etc., that's when I'll start increasing the PPFD. But until then, I'm going to leave it at about 350 to 400, okay? The other side is already at 450 and will soon go up to 500. But we're getting some pretty good growth out of this. I like the way it's looking right now. There's been no UV, no far red. I'll probably go ahead and start adding the far red and the UV. And my craft farmer under canopy lights show up in a couple of days. I think it's either actually tomorrow or today. So we'll get those in here. We need to get the EC stacked. That's why these look a little bit yellow. But we'll go ahead and I'll probably up my input EC from 2.2 to 3, or at least 2.8. And we'll start stacking that EC just by forcing a higher EC input. But everything in here has been treated with sulfur, and we'll go ahead, get some shit going on these soon. As soon as I see new growth, it's takeoff time. Can you believe it? It's only a week's difference, bro. This side got planted exactly 1 week ago. What a difference. 1 week, bro. All right, let's get these front 6 a little. You know what? Fuck it. No, this whole side could have a little toast of it. Let me pull my phone out. Hold on. This whole side can get a little bit of water. Fuck them. No, don't look at me. Turn around, you hoe bags. is that shit tripping? What's going on with this? Connecting. Okay, we're gonna do 15 seconds. No, we'll do 20 seconds. Just dawned on me, I haven't pressure tested this yet. Okay, we're good. We're holding. We're holding. Nice little All right, we're good. All right, no more clones up top, just 4 mother plants up top. We got 5 MAC V2s down here on the bottom, begging to be pheno hunted. And they're ready to take clones, honestly. I could take clones off of them today and I'd have enough clones to hunt them. But we're gonna wait, we're gonna veg them out, and I'll probably train the shit out of them, do some manifold training on these mothers. And then that way I end up with a bunch of really nice, big, fat clones. Bro, the gimbal on here is so clutch, right? The gimbal is clutch, but check this out. You know what's clutch about it? The gimbal plus the face track. Because as I walk around, whatever awkward position I have to put my hand in to walk through the door or whatever, it's Gucci. Like, we're good. You know what's cool too is, there it is. He threw it down here. I got some mounts for it. These are not labeled at all, so I don't know what the fuck is what. Everything just looks like a jock strap in the package. Okay, we got head mount right here. That thing is not really gonna go on my head. I don't like that, because then I can't look at it and see what the fuck it's pointing at. We got a nice clip mount here. Got a bunch of different attachments there. Those are like GoPro mounts. All right, then we got the chest strap. All right, let's see. Here's the cold shoe mount for it. So this wraps around the camera like that. This is the top. So I could put this right here on my chest with this bad guy like that. Okay, and then that could be tilted up and down. And that would go probably roughly about right there. That would work. The only thing that's stupid is the way that this goes, that screen that I would normally be able to look at is going to be pointed away from me, which is stupid. Is there a solution? What's this? Is this for this? Is this for this? Oh, sweet Lord have mercy, tell me this is for this. Hold on. Oh, I want to just push this around here so bad. How do I do this without disconnecting you guys? Take this off. Nope, hold on. I'm going to disconnect you guys. Hold on. It can't be. Hold on, guys. I'll fix the camera right now. Oh my God, please work. Yes. Fan-fucking-tastic. Okay. That was what I needed. All right. Bro, this is gnarly. I got this situated now. And I think I can leave that on there and it'll be fine. It won't interfere with anything. And then when I am ready to go, I could throw it on here. What's this other one real quick? Now I just need to figure out the corded part. I was trying to do it through my, oh, this is the wrist mount. That's stupid to me. I'm not gonna walk around like this. Might as well fucking hold the thing in my hand. Well, I could think of some fun uses for that. With the fucking gimbal on it. Oh, man. Well, that makes this whole little cold shoe mount stupid. You don't need this whole big case on it, which is good because I didn't like that thing. I can just clip it, but clips never work good. That would be good for maybe like on the press or something, but even then I'd rather just hold it. These are just extra J hooks. All right. Cool. I don't need any of that stuff. And then this, I saw another one of these mounts and the dude wore it like across his shoulder. It's like, I don't want to put it all the way over my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather just wear it like this, like a trunk sword. And then, I'm going to turn you guys around. Even though you're on the cable right now, I can still somewhat do this. I'm just going to test it out real quick. Positioning shit, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Then I can position it down. And then I can see what you're looking at. And then I can adjust the gimbal. Oh, no, that was zoom. Let's go with gimbal. Okay, I can adjust the gimbal. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Oh yeah, that's gonna work good. And then you guys can be like, no, lower, lower. Let us look into the wash. And then I'll be like, look, bitches, there is unforgivable. That works. Oh, dude, that gimbal is, ooh, ooh, ooh. That is so smooth. Oh my God. I'm nerding out right now. I am nerding out right now. Brother, let me tell you. And then just push the button and bam, the gimbal flips and it looks at my dumb ass. And it enabled face track. That's nasty. That's fucking nasty. Me gusta. Me motherfucking gusta. Back in the bag. Oh, they sent me 2 of them joints. Oh, player. 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 Just throw it on the desk. That makes me happy. With the expanded battery pack on there too. And I got my static screen protectors coming in the mail right now. So the screens will be protected. They won't get scratched. Bro, let me check on Santi. Make sure he's still asleep. He's chilling. He's big chilling. Yeah, buddy. That means it's dab time. And then we got to go pick up the girls. He already had lunch before he went down for his nap. So that means he can sleep up until the moment we have to leave to get the girls, which is not for another 20 minutes. So let's get her done. Bro, that next wash. Okay, turn off the face track. I'm sorry. Let's stop that. Whoa. Makes you dizzy, huh? Bro, the next wash is about to be nasty. Like a photographer setup, Weezin, this is a photographer setup. I looked at all the geeky, nerdy forums before I picked this stupid one. I actually wasn't even going to get this. I was going to get the Insta360 Go or something else like that, something real small. And then I started reading a bunch of shit and watching these stupid videos, and I geeked out for like 2 days straight. Like legit, that's all I did was just watch YouTube videos and read articles, Tom's reviews, all that shit. This is the real deal, bro. A lot of people take this with like a DSLR or something, and then that's it. Or they'll take this in place of the DSLR and take this with an action cam for like faster shots. So yeah, this actually has an expanded battery for it, which is right here. And it just makes the entire thing taller, but it still, everything else works the same. And then I can plug directly into this one instead of the one that it's on right now. With both of these combined, I'm pretty sure we'll get a long time wireless, but wireless isn't the goal. And when it's plugged in, it's charging. I need to get probably a slightly longer cable, and then I just need to get that YOLO Box Mini, because you saw with that chest strap that I had, I could slide that YOLO Box Mini underneath one of the straps, and that shit ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And then I can have that chilling right there, streaming from this, and it would be solid. I wouldn't have to go through OBS at all. I could just go straight through the YOLO Box Mini. I wouldn't need my laptop. Everything would be self-contained on me. I'd be totally hands-free, and it would be the same as what we're doing right now on my laptop. I'm about to buy that shit right now. Right now. Oh, they sure. All right, bro. Don't make me put on the wrist strap on your ass. Get in there whipping on the fucking paddle, and you guys are on the wrist strap with the gimbal going nuts trying to keep up. Yeah, don't fuck with me, player. I'll make your next wash a nightmare. You don't want none. It has a phone app. You can control the gimbal and everything from the phone app, as long as you're not live streaming. So it's pretty cool. I don't know how far the distance is on that, Rich, though. I don't know if it would work for your purposes, you know? You might, actually, what the fuck am I doing cleaning this? This is my goddamn jar. Stick my fucking dirty tool in there if I want to. Not dirty, but used. DJI is actually dropping a bunch of new shit right now. Like, I think somebody said it on the last stream. They're like the Apple of cameras and drones. They have the DJI Mini 4K, which you don't need a license to operate because it's under the weight limit. It's less than $300, and it does 4K footage with a gimbal. It makes my panties wet. You want to see it? I want to see it. We're gonna look at it. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It does 4K, 30 frames per second video. It has a 4x digital zoom, 10 kilometer video transmission, 31-minute max flight time, stable hovering, return to home, quick shots, panorama, and level 5 wind resistance up to 38 kilometers per hour. That's $299 direct from DJI. If you get the Fly More combo, it comes with 3 batteries, and so you get extended flight time out to I forgot what it was, like 90 minutes or something like that. And then yeah, oh God, jizz in my pants. Can we watch it? Can we watch a video? Can we? Oh, look how small it is. Look how small it is. That looks like the same camera as what's on my gimbal. It might be. Oh God. I want it. I want it. It's so cheap. With the Fly More combo and everything, $449. Fuck it. Add some accessories. Charge me $700. I'll put it in the bag. I want it. I don't have nothing to fucking shoot with this whatsoever. I live in the goddamn windy ass desert, but I want it. I want it. Give me that shit. That's just, it's dangerous. Dangerous. Boys and their toys. Oh my goodness. It's not just me, right? Like, that shit is fucking, that's sexy. That's a sexy little drone. And the fact that it's under the 249 gram limit, so you don't have to get your FAA license and register and all that. You could just grab it and go, motherfucker. Grab it and go. That might be perfect for what you're looking for, Rich. Making me randy, baby. I know. Dude, it's crazy because you start looking at those sites and you're only interested in this little entry model shit. But then as soon as you leave that page for that entry model you were looking at and you start looking at the other stuff, you just get dragged in. It's like in the scary movies when they're hiding under the bed, you know, head first, and their feet are dangling out, and the scary guy is coming, and it's just, you know, it's coming, they're about to get dragged. That's you leaving the entry level page that you came here for and heading into the all products category. That's him creeping down the hallway, coming to grab your feet. The moment you start browsing, that's it. Feet snatched, gone, done. You're dead. You're dead. You are no longer seen in this movie. You are no longer part of the budget production. Can't help it, bro. Can't help it. You got to do your research ahead of time for what you're actually looking for, and then just go there with a purpose. Don't get caught with your pants down. Don't get caught lacking. I almost did. I started looking at some like $1,500 drone. Shit looks like it could deliver chihuahuas across seas. Like, just no. And it's hard to not get dragged into it because that shit used to be so expensive, bro. It used to be like $1,000, $1,500 for an entry-level small-ass drone. And now they're showing me shit, bundle packages for $299. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, man. I don't watch TV, and I'm glad I don't. But if DJI like advertises on TV, they would dominate, bro. You know all those cool action cam videos, like GoPro videos that they put out to promote shit? And like oftentimes Red Bull will work with them. Bro, if DJI did that, It would be nuts, bro. Their sales would go crazy, I think. Just what I think. I don't know. Maybe they do advertise on TV and I just don't know because I don't watch it. Right? Subscribe? Subscribe to deals? Promotions? Oh, so I can get a 20% coupon and have a reason to spend more? Yes, please. I would love to get those emails. Tempt me, oh temptress. Oh, man. You guys want to have a serious conversation for a second? Speaking of warfare, do you think that there will ever come a time in humans' reign over this earth where we collectively look around as a whole and say, enough is enough. Let's stop the fighting. Let's stop the violence. Let's fix poverty. Let's fix starvation and hunger. Do you think that it will ever come to a point where that can/will happen? You don't have to give a long explanation if you don't want to. Just simple yes or no will work for me. I'm just curious to see what other people think. I don't know if there's any drug that could possibly fix it to the point of not being enough smokers. A little spicy. What RD said, that's what I was getting to. I think the answer lies in another question. How bad does it have to be for somebody to say, okay, this is enough, right? How bad is it? The problem is, the bad doesn't always affect everybody. Like Rich is saying. Look at all the shit that's happening overseas in Gaza, in the Middle East. Of kids getting bombed at hospitals and schools. But it doesn't affect us, so we're able to go about our daily lives, you know what I'm saying? It's, if any one of us, politicians, billionaires, whatever, were in the middle of that shitstorm actually getting bombed, shit would be a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if 10 of the wealthiest people in the United States, right, were all on vacation somewhere together, and a war breaks out and they're stuck there. You telling me they wouldn't put their resources together to survive, make some phone calls, expend all of their money, employ all options to stop what's about to happen to them? But it doesn't affect them. They're not there. And it's like that for everybody, though. We're all guilty of it. So I think that's why shit will never change. For that reason right there. And the moment that it does affect enough people for the majority of people to say, okay, that's enough, we're going to do something drastic to stop this right now, it's too late because it's already affected the majority. That means a lot of fucking people are hurt, dead, or in a really fucked up position. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point all we can do is ride the wave that we're on. We don't control it. We can't. We can't. It's too big. It's too established. And there's people that have more power than us that are going to always get their way. All we can do is learn how to navigate within that world. That's why I don't let shit affect me. People, oh, well, the new law changed. You can only do this, or you can only do that, or you can't do this. Oh, that's cool. Says who? Who's auditing me to make sure I'm following that rule? Oh, nobody? Oh, okay, well, who's snitching? Nobody? Oh, okay, cool. If it doesn't affect my bubble, I don't give a fuck. That's why I don't watch the news. The news only shows you negative shit with the sprinkle. It's like, the news is like a big pile of dinosaur shit with 3 sprinkles on top. And that's what they put on the news every day. How is that supposed to help people? It's not. So, like, stay away from society at all costs because most of society is dumb and brainwashed. Teach your kids that from an early age to be independent, free thinkers. To go against the grain, to question everything. I mean, you say that, Rich, but look, think about how easily it could affect you, right? Think about how over the last 5 to 10 years, how gentrified LA has become, right? They pushed all of the low-income people out of LA up to San Bernardino, Victorville, Hesperia, right? All those people get pushed out somewhere, and if you know, not saying that you're a target, but you could be one having a piece of land, right? People might be like, hey, what's this guy got? Or they just might be walking by stealing some fruit off your trees. You don't know. They're like, this motherfucker grows some delicious shit. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But it definitely affects us all. And like as time goes on, it definitely doesn't get better. What's crazy to me, excuse me. What's crazy to me is like the wild shit we see from our police still. And this has nothing to do with race, like whatsoever. Me and family stopped at Carl's Jr. last week on the way home from their abuela's house. Bro, when we pulled up, there was one cop car there dealing with some homeless situation at the bus stop in front of the store. By the time we sat down to eat, there was 5 more cop cars, and they were filming a news show. I don't think it was cops. I think it was like a local news show. I had a media guy and everything. 5 cop cars interviewing the cops and all this shit over what looked like nothing. From what I could tell, there was like no escalation that happened. It was just a huge waste of resources. And like, I looked at that situation and all I could think of was how many thousand, like, and I'm not exaggerating, how many thousands of dollars are being wasted right now. Like 5 cars, 1 to 2 police officers per car, all fully geared up on duty, blocking a lane of traffic when they didn't need to. And they all lingered for as long as possible before they went about their way. Like, it's just crazy. And like, there's no de-escalation. A lot of, I don't want to say all of them, I don't want to generalize that bad, but yeah, fuck it. In general, cops never de-escalate shit. They always are in a hurry to escalate stuff. They always operate under emotional pretense, never under logic or law. It's very, very saddening to see that as a country, we haven't done something to fix that. Like, it's wild to me. And we pay for it. Yeah, we pay for it. It's wild. And that's not like, oh, poor black me. Like, no, I've had a couple good interactions with cops. But I've also had my fair share of bad ones. And most of them for no fucking reason. Other than the color of my skin and where I was at the time. But, yeah, that whole power trip, ego shit. I'm here to flex on you and make you obey rather than I'm here to serve. What can I help you with? Are you in distress? Like the lady that got shot in the face in her own home when she was the one that called the cops for help. And she was like mentally struggling, and you could tell. And apparently she had boiling water. Who knows if it was even hot. But she had boiling water. And like, she wasn't gonna fucking do anything to the officer at all. She was clearly just going in there to get the goddamn pot of boiling water off the stove, right? Because they came in to talk to her, and she's like, oh shit, I got boiling water on the stove. Let me turn this shit off and remove it. And the cop panicked. Typical fear-stricken cop just panicked. And he's like, put that down. You better not throw it at me. And she was like, what, you think I'm gonna throw it at you for real? Like, and she jokingly was like, and pulled out the gun, shot her in the face. Dead. In her own home in front of her kids. I have no words. I have no words. It's a worldwide issue. I mean, I don't know if you were saying that in reference to what I'm saying. I can't speak to all over the world. I'm pretty sure there's corruption all over in different ways, shapes, and forms. But what I'm speaking about specifically is how our cops operate out of fear, lack of training, lack of bravery, lack of confidence. And it's because of how they treat people. Think about it like this. You ever heard that saying, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar? Cops are constantly vinegar. They treat people like shit. And then they wonder why they're like not liked. But then they turn and play the victim card like, oh, poor me. I'm scared for my life. Bitch, you're the one walking up with a gun already with your hand on it. For I ran a what? A red light? Or I was speeding? Like, what the fuck? Are you crazy and you're afraid? Like, that's the bullshit that needs to be fixed. That And like I said, the constant need to escalate situations, you know, like you see it all the time. Watch any interaction of cops, like a series of cops or any cop-like show on the internet, and you'll see every time, oh, let's pull this guy over for this. And then as soon as they stop him, oh, well, what else can we get him for? Run his plates. We pulled him over for this. Run his plates. Do this. Check see if he has warrants. Call the K9. Do that. Like, all for something that was not relevant or not a legal stop in the first place. Or if a cop's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to give you a ticket for that. They're like, oh, I pulled you over for you didn't use your blinker. And then they start asking you questions and they hit you with, oh, well, I'm not going to give you a ticket for that, but I'm going to give you a ticket for this, this, and this instead. No, you can't do that. The traffic stop was over. You said you pulled me over for this. You told me you were going to cite me for it. You can't then cite me for this. But they get people with that shit all the time, bro. And it's like, why? Why do they go out of their way to intentionally make people's lives worse? Classic example, people who sleep in their car. Did you know that shit's illegal? You can't sleep in your car? You can't sleep in your car unless you are on your property. Did you know that? Like, let's say you're a homeless person, right? Because, I mean, why else would you fucking sleep in your car unless you're drunk, right? But let's give those two reasons. You're either drunk and you don't want to drive, so you sleep in your car, right? Or you're homeless. Two very valid, good reasons to sleep in your car, right? The alternatives to those would be drunk driving, walking home drunk. You can't walk home drunk. You get public intoxication citation for walking drunk in public. Did you know that? Even if they just are walking past you and smell alcohol on you and you're not exhibiting any signs of intoxication, you can get a public intoxication citation, even though you're doing the right thing by walking. Okay? Ridiculous. Obviously can't drive drunk. And what if you don't want to spend money on an Uber or something? Or you live 3 blocks away. And cops will get people on that shit all the time. It's so wild, bro. So wild. It's just dumb, bro. Everything about our system is so broken and stupid. Isolate. Get as far away from the system and the public as possible. Homestead that shit, man. Or learn how to work the fucking system. As long as there's profit to be made, bro, there's always going to be... Like I said, the system's already so broken. Everything's already so levied in a certain way. There's no way... Unless there was some president who came in who acted like the president of El Salvador, who cleaned that place up. I gotta leave. Santi's still sleeping. It threw me off. I gotta leave and go get the kids right now. But we would need somebody to come in and clean everything up like he did. But they wouldn't be able to do that here because the president doesn't hold that power here. It's not set up the same. But anyways, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys